Okay.
Not all. Yeah.
Well,
No, your mayor, there's a good reason why de Blasio has a 38% approval rating. Folks, what do you think? 1-855-400-SAVAGE. What do you think? Does that change your opinion when you just heard that video? Those two Latino children saying, blank you, Americans and Trump, we're coming in here, we're going to speak Spanish, whether you like it or not. And if you don't like it, then you're a racist. Are these the type of people you want living in your neighborhood, whether you're in California or Texas or Alabama or in Washington, D.C., or wherever you're listening to the Savage Nation? And what about Tarantino? I think it's appalling, calling the police murderers. The police have the toughest job. The police have to deal with all the miscreants, all the criminals, all the drug addicts, all the lowest forms in society. That's who the police have to deal with. And you treat them like that? And then Tarantino? What do you hear? This is where Tarantino now is trying to make a link now. White supremacists and the police. This is Quentin Tarantino, failed filmmaker, last night on MSNBC.
Well, the organization who put it on was, it's called Rise Up October. And they got in touch with me because I had made statements in some interviews, along the way that had suggested that I'm on their side when it comes to this issue of, ultimately what I feel is a problem of white supremacy in this country.
I mean, I don't know if you could be more ignorant than that. That is a complete insult. White supremacy, where you have police who are trying to enforce the law and under attack in some of the most difficult, dangerous neighborhoods in the entire country. 1-855-400-SAVAGE. Radu on line 4 is listening on WMAL. Radu, you're up on the Savage Nation. Hello, Radu.
I've always admired police officers, as a young kid, but my parents taught me to respect them. They're there to help you. They're there to protect you. And, I'm an immigrant to this country, a legal immigrant to this country, which is very important for me to say. I came here about 38 years ago, and I'm just in shock and in amazement about what's going on nowadays. I'll tell you, if I were a cop and that happened in Baltimore, I wouldn't go there and patrol those neighborhoods. If I would be the brass, the police, I know they probably cannot do that. I would just I would tell the cops, don't go and patrol there. Let the animals kill each other. It's very sad. If they do their job, they get attacked for doing their job, for protecting us. It's really a job that today you cannot fulfill in a good way, because no matter what you do, you're going to do wrong. If you're not going to arrest these people, they're going to tell you, oh, you're not doing your job. If you're going to arrest them, and somehow, because they mouthed off on you, you slap them on the head a little bit, they're going to say you're doing something wrong. So you pretty much have no way of coming out in the right way if you're a cop. It's very sad. Now, the only other point I want to make is, again, as a legal immigrant to this country, when we came here, my parents insisted from the very beginning that at home, at school, at work, with friends, we only speak English, because that's why we came to this country. That's why we came to America. All right?
That's right.
Now...
And listen, you know what? Thank you, Radu. Trump wasn't wrong when he was taking a shot at Jeb Bush and said, by the way, this is America, speak English. I mean, everybody used to speak English. Now you have this defiant video of these kids saying that they don't want to speak English. And I'll tell you, this 18-year-old stabbing, that airliner that went down, they're linking that to ISIS. And now you have this attack, an 18-year-old. Remember, they used to be afraid of how we going to get the terrorists to come in the country. Well, now an ISIS-linked Twitter account praised the attack. They have them trying to make inroads, in all different cities. And this wasn't a matter of getting a bomb. I mean, he had a smile on his face as he stabbed 4 people on a college campus. And it continues to be that way. We need more police to keep us safe. We need a more aggressive policing. But what do you keep hearing about? Black Lives Matter, white privilege. Now you have Quentin Tarantino trying to portray. See, they're trying to portray the police as if there's some kind of like the modern day Klan. What do you think? 1-855-400-SAVAGE. 1-855-400-7282. Forrest is listening on line 9 on WAAV in North Carolina. Forrest, you're up. This is John DePietro, and you're in the Savage Nation. Hello, Forrest.
Yes, sir. See, things like this, to me, there's no difference here between this and the Black Lives Matter. You see, the left thinks we're all idiots. They think that we only subscribe to our lesser instincts. So they don't inspire and motivate by inspiration and good deeds and hope. They inspire and they motivate by fear and anger, because as, upright Neanderthals, that's all we're capable of. So this video does not want to change your mind or change my mind. This video wants all the people who are incapable of any emotion other than, yeah, let's get them, to rise up and rally just like they did in Baltimore and in Ferguson. That's all.
I'll tell you, Forrest, when I see the video of these two kids and they're saying blank Trump and blank you, and it reaffirms to me I don't want these people coming in. I mean, I didn't in the first place. But if that's what the parents are teaching them, I don't care who they are, teaching them to swear like that, my goodness, forget about it. Then we definitely don't want them in. Trump was more than, he didn't realize how right he was. The sense of entitlement. 1-855-400-SAVAGE. This is John DePietro sitting in for Dr. Michael Savage. More of your phone calls coming up. You're listening to the Savage Nation.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now. 855-400-SAVAGE. 855-400-7282. Savage.
Hey, our Savage Nation is sponsored by SwissAmerica.com. The only company I trust for wealth insurance, gold and silver. Call 800-BUICO.
You're listening to the Savage Nation. This is John DePietro sitting in for Dr. Michael Savage, inviting you log on to the website, michaelsavage.com. Government Zero, the latest bestseller by Dr. Michael Savage, has taken off like a rocket, climbing now number 3 on the New York Times bestseller list. It is a must-read. If you're a fan of Dr. Savage, must read. There's just so much information in there you can't find anywhere else. Whether it be about the Obama administration, about schools, the agenda in schools, about illegal immigration, about ISIS, all of that. It's all in Government Zero. Especially, over the holiday season. Maybe you're going to be at a holiday party or seeing people around Thanksgiving, and people start to argue a certain way or give you the liberal perspective. You read Government Zero, and you will shut down all of those arguments. Check it out, available at michaelsavage.com. You can also sign up for the Michael Savage newsletter, the Savage newsletter at michaelsavage.com. Joe on line 9 is listening on WABC, and he's up on the Savage Nation. Hello, Joe. Let's go to JJ on line 3 is listening on KSFO. JJ, you're up on the Savage Nation. Hello, JJ.
Good day, Mr. John. I just wanted to completely disagree with this whole coverage of the Faisal Muhammad. I've been hearing it blown up all this, since the beginning of the week, and no one was killed, but there's no coverage of Noah Hartham, who shot 4 people the same weekend, and then there's no coverage of Marshall Leonard, who threw a bomb into Walmart, like no one was killed.
JJ, the stabbing just happened. Again, you're listening. This is the Savage Nation.
Warning. The Savage Nation contains adult language, adult content, psychological nudity. Listener discretion is advised. And now, America's most exciting radio talk show, The Savage Nation, home of unprotected thought, borders, language, culture. And here he is, Michael Savage.
You're listening to the Savage Nation. This is John DePietro sitting in for Dr. Michael Savage, inviting you to call into the program 1-855-400-SAVAGE. 1-855-400-7282. Log on to the website, michaelsavage.com. Dr. Savage's latest book, boom, Government Zero. Not only is it on sale right now, but debuted number 3 New York Times bestseller list. I interviewed Dr. Savage on that book. It is a must-read. You're going to love it. You are going to absolutely love the book. And he goes into great detail on the Obama administration, on immigration, on schools, the agenda within schools, on ISIS. It's a must-read. It would make a great book, great gift for the holidays. Government Zero, available right now at michaelsavage.com. You can also sign up for the Savage newsletter. Also check all the latest headlines, whether it be on ISIS or on the Obama administration. Get all of it. Log on, michaelsavage.com. Saturday night, Donald Trump is expected. He's going to host Saturday Night Live. And there's some backdrop of things going on with the fact that Trump is going to host Saturday Night Live. Now, number one, he used to work for NBC, and then he parted ways with them, with the whole Apprentice. Number two, there is actually an organization now offering people a bounty that if someone will go to Saturday Night Live, and I've been to Saturday Night Live, it's a small audience, they do a dress rehearsal, and then they have the main show at 11:30. Dress rehearsal, I think, if I remember, it's like around 7:30 at night, and then they eliminate and see various things. But anyhow, it's not that big of a crowd. So, but there's a $5,000 cash reward if somebody in the crowd will yell, "Trump, you racist," during the course of the show at some point. Now, once again, though, what are they doing? They're really driving up interest for people to watch it. I wasn't going to watch it. I wasn't going to stay up. I haven't watched that show in many years. I don't think it's that funny. But now there is a little bit of a curiosity to see if someone's actually going to jump up and yell that, or if the NBC's going to let it go over, or if it's going to be on delay. Keep in mind, Hillary Clinton hosted. No problem at all. Think of some of the things that have been done on that show, and nothing said. But Congresswoman Loretta Sanchez is now bringing it to the next level, where she is actually calling on them to rescind their offer. NBC, rescind the offer. Listen to what Congresswoman Sanchez has said why Saturday Night Live, let's listen to it, should not have Trump as the host.
SNL has had plenty of presidential candidates on before. The problem is that they're allowing Donald Trump the entire time. They're asking him he's going to host this. And that hasn't happened in the past by a presidential candidate. And we believe that it's an affront to Latinos in particular, Mexicans and Mexican Americans, my parents, in particular because of all of the negative things that Donald Trump has said about us.
Don't watch it. Think of what Saturday Night Live used to do about President Bush or Cheney. No complaints about that. Think of some of the things that are said about them on other programs. Think of some of the trash that's on television. This is what they're objecting to, that Trump is going to go on and do a couple of seemingly probably stupid skits, although he's actually pretty funny. He was funny at the end of the debate, like, I'm glad Ben and I set these regulations so we can get the hell out of here. He was on with Colbert, there was no problem. He was on with Jimmy Fallon, there was no problem. This is who they're going to... And on top of that, I don't agree with everything she just said. Do you agree with that? What? Why? Because he said we should enforce the immigration laws? 1-855-400-SAVAGE. She goes on from there. Again, this is Congresswoman Loretta Sanchez saying that NBC should not have Donald Trump as the host.
You're not allowed to go into an auditorium and yell fire, fire, fire. And in the same way, I believe it's up to SNL to understand that when they put a Donald Trump in front of people and he says these type of derogatory comments, that has a direct relationship to what is happening out in everyday lives of Latinos.
The guy is leading in many polls. He's on stage doing presidential debates. If they want to have him on the show, how many people even watch that? A couple million at the most? I don't even think it's that. I mean, maybe. I don't know. What is your audience these days? 2 million? 3 million maybe? If that? I don't think it's much higher than that. Probably be the biggest ratings they ever had. All right. Also, Quentin Tarantino is in the news. We're going to play some of that sound. That is despicable, what he's saying about law enforcement. And then Trump is also being attacked.